Hello, Pooja.
Hi, Jajin.
Hi, thanks for accepting this interview.
My pleasure.
Alrighty, so in our channel, so my 10 parenting stories, it's basically just we just hear from just regular parents and their stories. There's no such as a format or anything. We're not seeking like serious ultimate answer for the parenting. But we just want to hear your stories. I think that's
Indeed.
pretty much it for the purpose of this interview. So yeah, so why don't we start by introducing yourself and your kids? Yeah,
Sure,
yeah.
definitely. So my name is Pooja. I work full time at Amazon. I have
Okay.
two kids. The first one's a girl. She is 10 years. She will be 11 in August.
Okay.
My second one's a boy. He's 6. He will be 7 in July. So both their birthdays are pretty much in summer. So they're
Okay.
nearing their next 11 and
11
7
and
years
7.
of
Okay.
age. Yes,
Okay.
exactly. And yeah, I should also mention that my little one is well, obviously, as having a first girl, you think that you figured out everything, right? And I had my first child. When I get into the second one, I know everything.
Yes,
But
must be.
sadly, that's that's how it worked out because um, I don't know if it's common for every parent, but uh, the way the boy is, my second one is so different to the girl. So everything that we had learned during our bringing up our first child, early days, was really out down the drain. It
That's
was as if
definitely.
we
I mean,
tried
yeah, yeah. I mean, even with the
completely.
same girls, yeah. But I think that they kind of they have like tend to have different personality, and yeah, maybe
Right.
you can turn down the same clothes for the same sort of girls, but
That's
but
about
not
it.
not at yeah. Actually, the parenting it actually sometimes it's very different. I think that's very common. I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's along with the fact that, around 3 years of age, my little one was diagnosed with autism.
Autism. Okay.
So there are the way me and my husband have to deal with him, handle him, or calm him down is very different to the way we would with our with our older one. So I think
I
that
see.
also adds um, to why I perhaps feel the way
Very different.
the second one
Uh,
is very
uh,
different to
uh.
the one the first one was. Yeah, so that's about me and my kids in brief.
Okay. So you're in UK right now.
Yes,
So
yes.
you grew up in UK or
No, not really. So I am born and brought up in India.
okay.
That's another topic. It's like the
Yeah.
way you brought up in India, the way the parenting it goes wrong in India is so different. So the way I was brought up is very different to the way I bring my kids up. I don't know if it's purely because of the countries they live in. So I
Okay.
moved to London in 2011,
Okay.
um, and we've been here for the past 10, 11 years. So my older one was born in India, but she barely lived there for 6 months.
I see.
But the kids have always lived here. The second one was born here and lived here. So yes, we are in the UK for the past 11 years, and we're bringing the kids up here.
I see.
But yes, I'm not native.
Okay. But definitely it's a different cultural background. I think that'll kind of but they're your kids are basically is UK. So they're English
Yes.
basically, I guess.
Yeah, well, yes, they are.
Yes. Yeah, so
Uh,
yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
no, I mean it's different. It's very different to the way I see how things are back home, right? And I think because I've been born and brought up there, you have a certain thing in your head,
Yep.
this is how the kids are. But whereas I come here, and a lot of their talk or some things that really matter to them is their rights, right? I think growing up in India, rights wasn't a thing. I mean, I'm not saying that India, the way we have the culture in India is
Yeah.
bad, but
Yeah.
it's just different, right?
Yep.
Whereas here, I hear a lot from both of my kids. Oh, this is my right.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So they're more aware of their rights and
right.
yeah, okay.
Exactly. So, a right to meet my family. right?
Okay.
Right to see my grandparents, a right to a good house. I mean, not a good, but being able, right to the shelter, right to good food, right to my own time, right?
I see.
Like, right to be able to do my things, obviously in a boundary because they're still
No,
kids.
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But there is a lot of that. Initially, it was a bit of a shock because I'm like, oh, isn't it just a one-way thing? Whereas I'm your parent and I tell you what to do. Sadly, that's how you think when you just start parenting. Whereas now things are different. Maybe it's because it's just a different country for me, but they have opinions and they
Which
have
is okay,
yeah.
which seems to be somewhat in some sense it's positive. So, do you think
Mm,
that comes from this education system in UK, kind of
yes.
encourage the kids to have their own minds, think for
Oh,
themselves? Okay,
absolutely. Like
let's see.
one thing about the education system is, as I am in awe of how the education system here is. Like, yes, people have opinions. Some people like it, some people don't like it. But if you were to ask my personal account for that, I think I really admire the way they really teach your kids. Okay,
I see.
for example, the relationship between a teacher and a kid is a friendly relationship,
I see.
a very friendly relationship. And whereas the way we were taught in India was pretty one way, right?
Definitely.
There is a teacher,
There's some, yeah,
60 kids,
definitely.
30 kids. They are literally telling you, and you're quiet and you're taking notes
Yeah.
down. Whereas here, it's collaboration, right? There's pods, right? There is a teacher, but teachers going around in pods. They have a table of 5 people,
Okay.
5 kids sitting, and they are talking, right? They are discussing
Wow.
things. They're asking kids for their opinions,
Wow.
right? So no wonder now when I see especially my older one, because she's getting to an age where she's starting to build a personality.
Yes.
um she's got opinions about everything. And
Wow.
I must say that the confidence, I never
Yeah.
had that. I
Okay.
wish I had that.
Okay.
I wish I had the confidence that she does.
Wow.
To be able to just yesterday we had this thing where we were telling her, you're in year 6, you're getting into the high school now. You should try and study for
Yep.
30 minutes a day.
Yeah.
She does not have a routine, and she was not happy about that. She didn't say a thing to us at the time. She came to the room, she wrote a massive letter to me, right? She
She
stuck
wrote
it
a
on my
letter
desk.
to you?
Yes, she did.
Okay. Okay.
She stuck it on my desk. She goes, guys, like, I understand what you're trying, and these are the words. I understand what you're trying to say. Please,
Okay.
please understand the pressure that I'm under.
Wow. Okay.
The teachers are constantly giving us extra homework. I'm
Okay.
trying to cope with it in the classrooms. It's difficult. It's difficult, but I'm doing my best to do it. So please, can you not add that extra pressure? Because I know when I get into the high school, I will be doing more than what I'm doing right now, right?
Wow.
um you see how she cut the chase of the tantrums there, right? She literally didn't say a thing. She came to the
Yes.
room, she wrote a letter, really, like, and I'm reading that letter and I'm like, there is a sense of maturity in it. She's only 10.
Definitely.
What, she's only
Yeah.
10, right?
Yeah.
That maturity is really mind-boggling. In a way, it's good, but at the same time, you see your kids grow up and you go, oh my god, she's got a brain of her own, right? It's a sad thing
Yes.
for us, right?
Yes.
But I'm immensely proud that she's able to put that thoughts out to us and to us, both of us. Like, it's not like she gave it to me and my husband both, and she's like, please guys, can you please help me and please be supportive of this.
Yeah.
uh it just it just made the whole thing a lot less um stressful for us to
I think
imagine
so.
if she had
Yeah.
been crying. But I think she is very confident in giving her opinions, even to us. She would not think that, yeah, you're as a, and she'd respectfully say that. She'd respectfully say that I understand this is it, but please hear me out. And it really impresses me, right?
I think that's
I,
amazing. Yeah. I mean, wow, that shaping that level and just showing their opinion at the age of 10 and 11.
10.
Wow. Yeah, that's very impressive. And that's the maturity that she has, and I think that's the, I mean, I don't know, that's totally from your parenting as well, but the
The
UK's
education
education
system, I
system actually encourages people to have their own
absolutely.
opinion, Wow, that's very.
Absolutely. And I'd credit it to the education system. I'm
Yeah,
not going to shy away from saying that. Yes, I mean, as a parent, you do play your part, but bear in mind that the kids are what, from 8:30 to 3:30 in the school every single day, right? And
that's
they
right.
they spend a lot more time there, and it really shapes their personality. So but again, that's the older one. Now, coming to this little one,
Yep.
that's been a very challenging, the reason I'm bringing this up
Hmm.
is, why education system here, I really appreciate it, is
Okay.
now this one didn't have any, learning difficulties or anything, and we see how she's mature a
Yep.
lot more. But
Yep.
now with my second one, he has challenges, right? He is autistic. He's not severely autistic. Autism is a spectrum, so
Yep.
not everyone is non-verbal, right? But
Yep.
this one is on a spectrum. He has immense difficulties with social interactions, and being able to talk, and his vocabulary, and being able to express himself, and it's either a meltdown or nothing, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
And when he started school, so he was what I think he was 2.5 years old when we really, it was my husband, credits to him, he was, um, he said, he's not talking. He's been nearly 3 now. He's not talking, and I think he could be autistic. And at the time, as a mother, you go, I'm not saying as a mother, it's a bit like thing, but I think I was a bit, in this case, pretty non-accepting, right? Where he was very accepting, where he said,
Hmm.
I think this is it. We need to get a solution for this. We saw the doctors. Thankfully, we did get the help we needed. We got the diagnosis by the time he was 3 years of age.
Okay.
Now, this meant to us that we knew that
Okay.
he is autistic,
You
and
know.
that
Yeah. Yeah.
we need to give him extra help, right? So
Yeah.
he went to the nursery, and the nursery people really, he wouldn't go, honestly. The days I recall, I would try to drop him. He'd sit on the street, he'd scream, and he'd have a meltdown. I
Oh.
could do nothing. I could
Yeah.
do nothing. I just
You
sat
can
there.
imagine.
Let him pass, right? I remember an instance where I had to call up the nursery teacher, and I said, I can't get him in. You need to come and help me. I was middle of the street, like, come and help me, get him. I don't know what to do, right? So this was the level that he was in. He could not speak. He'd be in his own world. He could not focus, right?
Hmm.
And this was when he got his initial diagnosis. Now, since from that point on, now this was when he was 3 years old. Now he did his nursery reception, then he moved on to the school. When he went on to the school, we got him into something we call as educational health care plan, right?
Okay.
Because he has special needs, what the government does here is give you that EHCP plan support, right? So they've given him about 20 hours a week extra support, one-on-one support for him,
Oh, okay.
and that honestly has transformed him. And I can never be thankful enough of the teachers and the people who have worked on him. Now, if you see him, if you talk to him, you cannot really tell he's got autism in the first, like, perhaps
Wow.
5-10 minutes,
It's
right?
much
He
much an
talks.
improvement. Yeah.
Exactly. He will talk. He will initiate a conversation. He's quite kind now. He wouldn't shy away. He would shy away. He wouldn't talk to you. He would not be himself. He still has meltdowns, but now we know how to manage him, right? So, for
I see.
example, change is something he cannot take. So today, for example, is a thing where we have to give him a food he's never had, right?
Okay.
So from
Okay. So
from from
yeah.
a new thing, right? So
Yeah.
from the afternoon, me and my husband are showing him pictures. They're saying, "This is what we're gonna make, darling. This is what we're gonna eat, and this is what we're gonna have to eat," right? Um, so, but he can manage, right? He can manage. Now he's not screaming. He's like, okay, as long as you tell me this is what for lunch, for dinner, then I'm not gonna have a tantrum. But imagine you just give it to him. That's it. The
Okay,
all hell breaks
it's
loose.
accepting that it's a new sort of things that it's gonna hard for him. It's just kind of we just at the beginning, but you kind of learn how to sort of give him like
Cope
some
with it.
information, cope with it ahead, and a little bit. I think oh
Exactly.
that's
But now as a parent, you do that, Ajay, right? As now
yeah
as a parent, you do that because that's your child. At school, right? At
yeah
school, they do that too, right? So one thing is the class teacher. She's usually not in on Thursday evening, right? he gets a bit, uptight, like, oh, if she's not supposed to be on the Thursday second half and she comes in Thursday second half, then he gets a bit uptight. Oh, you're not supposed to be here. Why are you here? Right?
Okay, okay.
Thursday second half, you're not supposed to be here. Why are you here? So she tells him that, Isa, I am not. I'm going to be in class on Thursday second half.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
instead on
Telling them
Friday
again.
morning, I'm not going to be here. Right?
Oh, okay.
Right? For example, changing his clothes for PE, right? So they do the exercise, so they have to change their clothes. He can't take that, right? So
Okay.
initially, for the first year, they didn't tell him to do anything.
Okay.
They just let him see that other kids are
Oh, the kids
changing.
are just changing their again.
Exactly. Then this year onwards, we started like they were like, okay, we'll give you a separate room to change. They don't usually do that. All boys change together, all girls, because they're
Okay.
still little.
Yeah.
So they said, you take your own room, right? But you have to change that. So they gave him the time, like, take your own room, change it, see how it fits.
Wow.
So not just saying, hey, you know what, we got to change, right? He can't do that. He just cannot do that. And imagine the school doing all of that for you,
Wow. Is it this is a
right?
public school?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Wow. So they
It,
have
it,
okay for especially for your child.
correct.
They
So
did
the
the extra
provisions,
things for okay. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah.
exactly. So that for us as a parent, I mean, I can't thank them enough, right? Every time I see them, I'm like, no, whatever it is, it's because of you. It's the truth, right? Um, because we are not equipped. This is the first
Definitely.
time,
Yeah.
what do you know about autism, and especially
Yeah.
coming from India, we are so not aware. Like even my parents, my in-laws right now, they don't accept it, right? For them, you're like, oh, you're just saying it's an autism. He's fine, right?
Yeah.
Whereas we're like, no, he's not fine. That's where it is, right? You need to make sure that you accept it and you support him in that. Whereas what they do is, oh, he's fine. Just act with him as normal as you can. But no,
That's
you
right.
can't act with him as not as normal as you can, right?
I see.
Um, so I think we've also learned a lot in this journey. Initially, it was we'd get hyper, right? We wouldn't understand why he's the way he is, right? And we'd scream at each other. We couldn't cope. Like I'd cry.
I
Like,
get
no, it's not
definitely. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean.
I just wouldn't know what to do, right? And neither would my husband, right? And now I think, when now we're so much more equipped. I think looking at what the teachers do, looking at what resources and help we've gotten about it, and we go, okay, now it's a change. How do we make him um, okay with the change? He still has a tantrum. I'm not saying that it's gone,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's still not gone. It's still there. There will still be times when he's just suddenly, exposed to some sort of uncertainty. I can't take uncertainty, right? He just cannot take uncertainty. Like if you told him you have to do homework on a Monday, then it is a Monday, right? Why are you asking me to do my homework on a Sunday, right? The plans cannot be changed. There is no way the plans can be changed. Or Saturday is a pancake day, right? For my breakfast, I have pancake for a Saturday. If you don't make pancake, that's unacceptable, right? There's a
Okay.
meltdown. There's a
Okay.
massive meltdown.
There's that.
So
Okay.
you can't do that. But yeah, so coming back to the original point of the education system, yes, I just wanted to sort of share with you that
Mm-hmm.
that this is what I have experienced with the education system here between my daughter and my son.
Wow. I see. Wow. That's amazing to hear. I mean, it's
Yeah.
for both kids. It's benefiting very great education system there. So at home, I guess. So I think your older one sort of aware, and like she is aware of your younger one. And
Yes.
how is the relationship between those two?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. So initially, I think she was when we got to know about um, his diagnosis, she was really um, upset. Obviously, we all were upset, but
Yeah.
she was like, "Did, did, does he have a problem? Right? Is this a problem? Right?" So we had to educate her that no, this is not a problem. He's just different, right? And what is normal, right? Normal is just something that we have defined, right? And
That's
and
right. Yeah.
not everyone is comfortable with social interactions. Not everyone, even now, I think a lot of adults like I meet, and I think in me included, I'm not really comfortable with a few things, but do we even care for that, right? In the
Yeah.
workplace, we
Yeah.
just expect everyone to be let's talk about, let's be open, let's all be extroverts, right? I'm an introvert, and
Yep.
it really drains me when I have to really interact with different
Yep.
people. But you
Yep.
know what, the world expects us to do that. But I think since our times, the world's now moving on, and they're really learning. So I think one first step for us was to, we got her a few books. So my daughter's so into books, like she is
Oh,
so much into books that uh, yeah, I mean, even the teachers go, her writing is so good. I mean, she's in England, and the teachers here, when they say, hey, she's writing to the level we would not expect a year six kid to write. Like, this is what they said to us, like, her writing's brilliant, her reading's brilliant, the imagination's brilliant. Again,
wow.
there's not one thing we've done on her, JJ, right? Like, we don't, as a parent, we know she's spending enough time in school. What we're giving her is the resources. We have
Yeah.
enrolled her on magazines. We've given her books, but that's
Yeah.
it. I think the credit goes to her and the teachers for where she is at. So the first step for us was to give her the books, right? So we got her a couple books. She was at the time, I think 6, 7-ish. So she read the books, and the books were for kids as well, like
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
stories about a brother who's got autism.
Uh-huh.
So that, I think, opened the discussion rather than us telling her this is what it is, to
Oh,
the book telling her what it
okay.
is, and she's saying, hey mom, hi dad, this is what it is, right? This,
Uh,
when they have autism, you're not supposed to do this, you're not supposed to do that, you're supposed to do this. So that was the initial, sort of introduction phase. But I think there also came a phase where she felt a bit left out,
yeah, I can
because
definitely see that. Yeah. Yeah.
as a parent,
Yeah.
we were also trying to understand how to support Ether, and not really uh, let him be by himself, right? So he really needed that extra help from us, and which meant that we were not consciously but unconsciously, like, because a lot of your
I can.
attention's on the little one.
Yeah.
There came a phase where she did feel left out, but again, as I said, the good thing is she comes and says it rather than
That,
suppress.
yeah, that's so amazing. Like that she can express, right? Then can tell you. That's yeah, ability to express herself, and then I think that there is a trust there as well, right? So I
Yeah,
talk to my mommy and daddy, and they
yeah,
will understand, and then they accept
yeah,
my opinion. I think that's amazing to hear.
yeah.
Wow.
So she would come to us and say, hey mom, hey dad, I feel like you're giving more attention to Isa, right?
Yeah.
And then we sit down and say, hey darling, no, this is what I think it's just the matter of reiterating that. As a child, I mean, it's I mean, I really feel for her, because it's just hard. Firstly, having a brother who's autistic, right?
Yeah.
Imagine having the meltdowns. It's not been easy on her.
Yes, that's
He's
true.
he's he's screaming, right? And she wouldn't know why he's screaming, right? And sarcasm, right? Sarcasm is the thing in this society, right? We're British. We sarcasm is a thing,
Yep.
and my son does not understand sarcasm, right?
Mhm.
For him, everything is face value, right?
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
right, you say, oh yeah, like, oh, you said, oh yes, right? It's not, he does not
Yeah.
understand, it's
Yeah.
the
So literal.
words.
Yeah. 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 The word. Yeah.
Exactly. So then she doesn't understand that, right? She still doesn't, but I think now we've really gotten to a point where the little one, where Isa is also trying to talk, right? He's
Wow.
also talking and saying, hey, but I only said this to you. And then she goes, oh, but I said this to you, but okay, but this means this. So but you said this. Then she will explain, no, 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 I didn't mean it in literal sense, I mean it in sarcasm.
Yeah.
This is what sarcasm is, right?
Okay.
So because now the little one can talk, he's able to say, but you said this, right? So, and then she explains it. So
Wow.
there is that bonding. There are periods, right? There are periods where they can't stand each other. But I think this doesn't have anything to do with autism. I'd say that any normal parent also
Definitely.
faces
Yep.
this,
Yep.
right?
Yeah. Yep.
um
Siblings. Yeah.
exactly, siblings
Yeah.
related
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
So I think they can't stand each other, but at the same time they're so close at times when Insha is teaching, for example, telling her the Harry Potter story, right? It's like this. She is so much into stories and all of that. So she explains him about things, and then she quizzes him. Hey, what does Harry Potter school,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
does the school do? Right? What does a Muggle mean? So that osmosis is there, where she is trying to sort of give give him that knowledge. I do see her also as like that caring figure for him,
I
right?
see.
And I don't know if that's just because she's an older. I think it's just because she's an older sister that this happens. But there's also this extra thing where she knows that she needs to really take care of the brothers, right? Um, so yes, it's been we still have struggles where they just can't stand each other, where Insha comes to me and says, hey, honestly, because he doesn't understand, I don't know how to deal with it, and she comes and shares it, and then I just have to give her own breathing space, right, and say, hey, you know what, just go into your room, lock down, take a book, right? Book is a good escape, it's the best therapy for her. I just buy her a few books and then she's okay with it. She'll just sit in
Enjoying
the
those.
room, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, read for 3 hours, come out completely transformed. um so yes, this is the relationship, but I think it's it's to a point where it's manageable. It's not complete madhouse right now.
Oh yeah, I can imagine because I think both of you guys are working, I guess. So you're working, and then your husband is working as well, and dealing with just getting form these bonds among the family, and the learning how to sort of support your younger one. I think that's going to be pretty much hard, and then but it's also rewarding, I guess.
It is
Okay.
absolutely. I think this whole working from home experience has transformed us. Earlier, I wouldn't see him a lot, right? I would drop the kids in the morning. My husband would pick them up. By the time I get home, they're all sleeping. So I literally see them for 1 hour in the morning. And
Okay.
I think, especially with Isa, I really felt the guilt, and my husband did as well, of missing out and saying, "Are we not doing enough? Right? We're not doing." And I think as a parent, we all have that, autism or no autism, right? Um, it's we all have that guilt of, oh, are we doing enough, are we doing enough,
Yeah, that's
and
true. I mean, yeah, if you
um
just get too frustrated about, like, too worry about that too much, then I mean, it, most of the time we just do best we can. I mean, it's the capacity that we can
yeah.
support, and yeah, yeah, we always have this regret in our mind. But I think that's great that you're thinking about that and then trying to support him in a way to get to the point. See how well it turns out right now, right? So you
Well,
manage.
yeah, I really hope that he grows up, the older one grows up, both of them grow up, and do understand that we're doing the best we can, in whatever resources we have. But again, coming back to this whole work from home thing, it's been so good to just be with the kids, I guess. Just be
Yeah,
there, even if they're watching the TV, just next to them by the sofa, just cuddle them, and give them, tell them that you're there, right? um and I don't know, it's just been amazing. And for me, um, Isa is what now? He'll be 7.
okay,
We've been dealing with this for the past 2.5 years, right? 2 years.
yeah,
He was 5-ish then. So we spent 2 years where he went to the nursery, and all of that, and in that period we felt that, are we not giving him the time? Because as a parent, you also need to invest in a little bit more, because when he's got autism, a little bit more. You have the speech therapies, and they give you
yeah,
targets, and they
yeah.
say, hey, do this with him, do that with him. We weren't able to do enough, but in the past 2 years, I think it's really helped him as well. I can see, and us, definitely. We learned from him. We learned so much from him as well. The resilience, and he didn't have a friend. He wouldn't speak to one person, Jajan. We were
So
so worried.
okay, for from family only for now.
Yes,
Yeah,
just us. He would
yeah.
only speak to us.
Hmm.
He would not speak to anyone in the school. And now, 2, 3 years on, he's making friends. He's making friends. I mean, something as simple as that, making friends, right?
Yes.
We
Oh,
take for granted, but now he's making friends. He's when I see him talking to other kids, I feel like I just get emotional. Like, oh my God,
it is.
I've come a long way, right? Because there was a time in my, in his life where we didn't think that he really be able to interact with anyone, honestly. So anything we're getting now is absolute a bonus, right? We'd gone, okay, even if this is the case, it's okay, right? It is fine if he doesn't want to make friends, he can't make friends. And what we don't want is the anxiety, right? We don't want to give him the anxiety. He doesn't have to have a bunch of friends. um but now the teachers themselves are so amazed. They go, hey, you're making friends. They give this certificates, right, every Friday, and he's got two so far. One is for like talking to new people,
Oh,
making
really?
friends, and
Oh,
the second one is for trying your best to change in the school, right?
oh,
Little things,
that's
right? Little.
amazing. Okay.
Um, but it has changed a lot for us, and even my older one, like, I mean, not to forget the fact that it's been hard on her too, having to sort of cope with
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, so I just kind of curious. Yeah, so it's very for the older ones. I mean, yeah. So I think mostly positive. Sort of the way she sort of communicate with you. I know for sure there will be of times where she
Yes,
is not reasonable, and
it is.
yes. So their argument doesn't make sense. But
Yeah.
yeah, were there any case like that, and how would you?
Yeah, I
I mean,
think
she's
she's
still a
still.
kid. Yeah.
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 I think I constantly remind her of the facts that, you know, now I say it a lot. I was like, you're gonna be a teen, right?
Yes.
Just
Yes. Yes.
remember,
Yeah.
just remember not to be a, not to backtalk to me, because I can't take that. You're not going to backtalk. You're gonna reason, but whatever you say, they come to that stage and nothing makes sense, right? It'll still be a teen being teen. I
Yep.
think even so far, Insha she's quite calm. She has never raised a voice,
Wow.
or never thrown a tantrum, or never left a conversation midway because she
Wow.
couldn't take it. I'm really, as parents, we're really lucky to have her. She's never done, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that. I mean, the
Right.
worst that happens is a tear trickling down really quietly, and then we just hug her, and we get out of that, and open her up. But I mean, Nazish, my husband, has never raised his voice on her, like never,
I think
ever, ever,
I see.
ever. um for me, even, I mean, for me, raising voice is more about, it's not the raising voice, it's more stern, right? She knows that, mom's gentle. So if she says, hey, why are your clothes here, then she's not happy about that, right? So
Hmm.
then in that case, what happens, she'll either agree or disagree. um if she sort of disagrees, I can see the stomping a little bit and then doing it and tears trickling down, in which case I say, leave everything, sit down and talk to me. Why do you think that, when I tell you to clean your room, why do you think it's a bad thing to say? Then she goes, I just have too much to do, you don't understand me. And I say,
Okay.
okay, then help me understand,
Yeah.
what do you have to do? And we'll sort that out together, right? I think
Yeah.
just not letting her get to that stage, I guess,
I
because
mean, that's yeah. I can as I hear it, it's not only the school. Your parent. And so you and your husband barely raise a voice, and then
yeah,
for
we
her
don't.
to communicate to show what she think, I think that's very natural for them, right? So
Yeah.
if their parents are yelling at each other all the time, for them is that's the common. So that is natural for them to express their feelings,
Yes.
and I think the way you guys are providing for her so that she can actually communicate rather than yelling and throwing in tantrum. I think that's
Yeah.
another good thing that you can see from there.
Yeah, we try. We definitely try. I think sometimes it's just, because kids grow up, they see your face as well, right? It's not only yelling. Then sometimes they're like, what's the matter, right? And because even she did ask you, you look this, you look stressed, don't look happy.
Yep.
What's the matter, right?
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
question I get all the time. Like, even if you keep it within you and you don't say, like, let's say, um, something's wrong, you come and look at a room and you just, make a face and go away, right? And it's like, what's the matter, right? And then, you have to calmly talk and say, I don't like it the way the state your room is. Why do I have to do it? You're still 10, I understand, but you're going to be teen, and if you don't have this habit now, then I'm not going to come and clean for you every single day, am I?
Yeah. That's right.
um, so I think that I think communication. I mean, that has been an immense help, with the older one. She says we talk. The letters help when she doesn't want to talk. We get
Yeah. That's
since she was 4, she's been writing us letters. I have pictures of the letters where she goes, sometimes Abba's funny, sometimes he's angry, and I don't like it. This is when she's like 4 or 5. So since then, she's just developed this habit of, talking, communicating, and telling us. And let us make it easy, because then we can't say anything immediately. You just go, oh, when your child writes you a letter, you literally melt down and you go, okay, I know I was being unreasonable with you. Sometimes you don't know the other side of story. Most of the time, children, when you reason with them, they have reasons why they're doing acting.
Yeah.
Either they're just bored, they just don't want to do it, and you just said it in the wrong time, right? Most of the time, in my case, it's the wrong time. When she wakes up, she doesn't want to be told anything, right? So if she wakes up and I tell her immediately go shower, then it's the start for a bad day. Like she will be teary, she wouldn't want to be told anything. But I give her 15 minutes. If I
Yeah.
see that she's woken up, she's not done for 15 minutes, and I say, hey darling, do you think you have time to take a shower? Because it's getting late now. And then she's either say, okay, I will take it now, or I come back and take the shower. Then we agreed, okay, fine, you don't have time right now, it's fine, come back and take a shower, but make sure you do. Right. So, I've given her the whole day and not said, go and do it right now. Because
Yo,
sometimes as a
it's just
parent as
you
well.
don't have to demand right away. Just give her time to do it. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Because as I say, the reason I feel that way is I am like that. I don't want someone to tell me do this right now. Right. I think
Yep.
most of us are like that. Right.
Yeah.
Even as a kid,
You
I
want
was like that.
instant, like, yeah, yeah.
So imagine, like, if you tell them that, it's not nice of them. Plus, it just, I think, there is a long-term effect of that. I think they will just think anyone can tell them that, right? Yes, as a parent, we have the right to, um, but I don't want her to grow up and just listen and follow,
That's right.
just
That's right.
because she was told.
Yeah. I really appreciate her having her own thoughts, own opinion. I mean, that's amazing to hear. And then
Yeah, yeah. Maybe sometimes you should do a interviewing a series with kids, and I think um, you will be able to get some insights from their side as
I think
well. But
definitely, yeah.
that would be
That's
okay.
maybe that's a good idea. Give me an idea.
It is.
Okay.
They,
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so I think it's around the time. Yeah, so we need to cut off, and then maybe I don't know. We can come back and talk again. This, but
anytime.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, thank you so much for the sharing your
Well,
stories, and
thank
it's
you for letting
amazing.
me.
Yeah, and then if you have anything you want to like talk to other parents, like something that maybe they're having now just become parents. Do you have any
Oh.
advice for this becoming? Yeah, for them.
I know. I mean, I think any parent would say what I'm saying is there's no right or wrong way. It's just
Yep.
the way that works for you and your kids, right? You cannot put one thing, one template on everyone.
Yeah.
Some kids need to be told in a certain way. Some kids just cannot take it, right? It's really really, and it's the one of your videos is the relationship that
Yep.
you built
Mm,
up,
yeah.
right? It's the role versus the relationship. And I can't emphasize that enough. It is the relationship that matters, right? You have to have the relationship early on. um, and first you have to be the best uh, you feel in your brain, right? Imagine if I am stressed and I am not happy about a situation, then it really rubs onto my kids. And I've had that sometimes when at work I'm stressed and my daughter goes, you're stressed, and I can see it, and that's usually my signal to
Yep.
stop
And that's
to
all
stop.
different. Yeah, yeah, that's on your own kids, sort of a way of telling you, and then you kind of catch it. You need to understand your kids. I think, oh yeah,
Yeah.
there's no best practice for parenting. Every kids are different, different, and different as to how you
Yeah,
want to
but take
push
care
it.
of yourself as a parent, right? That's one thing as well. I think what we do
Yeah.
is we lose in the midst of all this, the work, the money, the whole world is crumbling around us, and the guilt of being the best parents we can. I think we forget to take care of ourselves, and
Yeah.
if we are not best
And
within, we are
for
never going to
ourselves,
be happy.
yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, definitely. You're stressed. You're a lot of stress, and that kind of goes into affect the kids and the family as well. I think, yeah, that's
Exactly.
very important. Wow. That's amazing interview they had, and
Thank
thank
you.
you, thank you
I
so.
No, thank you for having
Uh,
me, Jason. Honestly, I do want to reiterate that what you're doing is amazing. Being able to get all these gems from parents, right, and helping parents to be, or even the existing parents who need, sometimes we just need validation. It's just not me.
yeah,
Everyone's going through the same thing, right? So what you're doing is amazing. Keep it up, and keep going.
All right. Thank you so much. I will definitely go. And alrighty. Thank you so much, Pooja.
Thanks.
All right.
My pleasure.
Bye. All
Cheers.
right. Bye.
Bye.